I learn on my, because I purchased 2 cottages in my life, so and I purchased cottages for other clients, so I have a big experience, a huge experience in that. Even I'm not a cottage country guy, but because I deal with my own purchases and other friends that I help, you know, during the 17-year career, now I know all the pros and cons. So. So basically, if you want to buy a piece of land with nothing on it, so you pay HST on top of the price first.
Okay.
Second, you know, as I said, the banks, they are not happy to give you a mortgage for a vacant land. So basically, you have to have a minimum cash, let's say $200,000 or $100,000 to buy that piece of land. Let's say you buy for $100,000, okay, and then you add 13%, so you'll pay $13,000. And then you pay, for example, the architectural drawings and all this stuff. Maybe it cost you another 10-15%, $10,000-15,000.
Okay, yeah.
And then if you don't have a good contract with the builder that you are hiring, and he is giving you his contract,
okay,
then you're in a big problem, because you are working for him now, because he has all the contracts, it's in his benefits. So if you don't put timelines, if you don't put, you know, if you have to meet with them every week to see what's going on, you have to, and put if they don't perform what they promise, there have to be some punishments. So, and then you know, so basically you have to hire a contract lawyer to do your own contract.
Okay.
And to amend the contract that the builders is because, you know, so this is the way. So it's much more complicated, because everyone wants, you know, a cheaper price to build,
of course,
the fastest time, and the best quality. You cannot have all of three. So if you hire a guy that is very cheap, that means for sure he's not providing quality, and for sure it takes a long time. If you want, let's say, if the quality is a problem, then you have to pay the much more expensive, and you want the job to be done very quickly. So you have to search on that builder, see the the reviews, and have your own contract, stipulate all the the timelines, and then all the details. So you have to be very careful, and also to have a backup plan. So let's say if they don't perform, then to can exit, or to penalize him based on that. So for a guy like me and you, that we are not doing this business every day, it's better to buy an existing one,
renovate, if you want to renovate to bring it to your standards.
You don't have to worry too much. Everything is in place, so it costs you much less.
So many
you see,
things,
so many tricks.
And I still have another question.
Yes.
When is the best time to buy the cottage?
So the best time to buy is in the end of the fall, because usually the owners of the cottages, they want to enjoy the last summer in their cottage. So basically they will put it on the market after they close, after the it's a long weekend in October, I think it's the beginning of
After
October.
Probably the Thanksgiving.
Usually they
I think they want to.
And then they close it up. They winterize if it's, let's say, needs to be winterized. Let's say 3 seasons. They just took out all the water on the pipes. They so basically they try to avoid any frozen pipes, and so that one is and then the potential, they put it on the market, and the potential buyer agents, they come, they see the unit, but all the time it says on the entrance, please don't use the washrooms, or because it's winterized. So that one, so on that point you can get the best deal.
Probably,
and probably in the beginning of winter, as much as you go close to March, April, when they are opening, then the prices will go up, because everybody knows that the closing will be in May, and they can enjoy the full summer. So you have much more options in the fall and winter, beginning of winter, than let's say in spring and summer.
Actually makes sense because we bought a cottage in the Niagara region, and we saw, my husband and I, in probably October, November, a lot of like houses for sale, like cottages for sales, and I was, what is going on?
Yeah.
We got a little bit like concerned because we didn't know what's going on.
What's wrong with that area? What's wrong with that area? Being so many on the market.
Guess what? Last week we went there and we only saw a few houses for sales.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So now it makes sense to me, right? Yes. People are buying right now because they want to rent for it, because it's like more like a summer season. So
the only downside in to the end of fall and in the winter time is that you cannot find you cannot realize what kind of water you have. Let's say if it's a water from property, because in the summertime you can see all the if the water is, let's say if it's a shallow water, so it means there are a lot of plants, there are a lot of weeds. So then you don't like it and you don't buy it. But in the winter time you don't realize that.
You don't know.
And then you realize just in the first summer, after in June, July, when all the vegetation is growing up, and then you feel bad. So you have to be careful. Look at other properties sold on the area. Check the former listings, because some agents, they are fair agents, they said shallow water, weeds, so they're, but some of them they don't put that, and then because it's not mandatory, let's say, but you can get screwed if it's or you think that it's a very clean lake, a nice lake, and then you'll find out that it's full of vegetation, and it's very hard to, for example, it's impossible to swim.
Yeah, you can't quite use it.
You can use it basically.
You can't. But what you can do, if you have the intention to buy, you can rent something in the summer and then buy in
that one would be ideal to rent on
and
the
then
same,
you learn about the
same
place.
area. And be careful, because in some lakes, for example, one part of the lake, it's much better than the other side of the lake. So it's a lot, like you have to do, like the agent, if you have to hire an agent, he has to be very, very careful. I learned on because I purchased 2 cottages in my life, so and I purchased cottages for other clients, so I have a big experience, a huge experience in that. Even I'm not a cottage country guy, but because I deal with my own purchases and other friends that I helped, during a 17-year career, now I know all the pros and cons. So buying and selling with me, then it will be a great experience, because you will know for sure that you'll buy the right product, the right cottage on the right side of the lake, with the right shoreline.
They have first-hand experience.
And
the knowledge and.
By the way, if let's say if you want to buy a cottage, on the big lake, usually they don't allow to have a dock, like a big lakes, like Erie Lake, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Lake Huron. Usually, they don't allow. This is that by laws on that you cannot have, on the smaller lake, then you can have.
Wow.
But you have to check that one too, with the conservation authority.
Yes,
because if you think to have a boat and to enjoy, and then you buy,
and probably you want a boat if you have a lake.
But for some reasons, the municipality, they have the bylaws in that area that you cannot have, a dock on the water. Then you are screwed. You have to keep your boat at the marina,
and it's
another
you have to
4,000 or
rent,
5,000 per year expense.
Yes, you have to rent.
And you cannot enjoy, because you have to anchor your boat, 50-60 meters away from the shore, and then you have to come with a canoe to your cottage. So there are a lot of
things to take in consideration.
Yes.
In other words, it's buying a cottage. It's a different beast.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it
for an income and for enjoying. Because you want to go and enjoy yourself.
Oh yes, 100%.
Not just for Airbnb.
100%. And when you try to find a lake on a property on a certain lake, you have to Google that lake. You have to see if that lake has a pure water, has a crystal water. How deep is it, shallow, this and that, and also to see so many lakes that have blue algae, or there are a lot of algae. They are growing in some summers, more than, and then the water became unswimmable. And then so you have to it's it's a top let's say top 10 list with Ontario with the worst blue algae on the lake, and you have to double check that one too. And then in some lakes, as I said, that those algae, they are just on one north shore but not on the south shore or in the east shore. So each lake is different. But you have to just the agent has to do his own diligence, and also the buyer, because it's,
I can't wait to see your property, to be honest, because you describe it in so nice words, and I'm pretty sure it's amazing. And I
was lucky because what happened was right now since probably September, October, all the cottage owners, they put their property on the market, being the market being so slow and the mortgage rates, they become they become very scary. And then in this particular case, I saw it online in one night, the price, and I was surprised because for that kind, for over 150 acres and a nice lake inside and everything, the prices went from 1.8 and up. So and I saw it for almost half of the price. So, and I said, man, like, this is a great deal.
I know.
So now is the time, if you want to buy a property, a cottage, now is the time to act, because of the current market rate, like current real estate market. Current rates. So if you put a big chunk, let's say if you put 30-40%, then you don't have to worry too much, or 50% about the rates, because you have a smaller mortgage.
Yes.
But you enjoy, and they purchase for much lower price.
Okay. How about the inventory? Sorry, it feels like we want to end the discussion, but we have so many questions.
Yes.
But how about, the inventory right now? There are like a lot of cottages on the market.
They came up. They came up after September, after the Thanksgiving Day. They came a lot, as I said, because everybody wants to sell and to be sure, so that they are selling until the spring. It's pretty, it's a buyer market for sure.
Yes,
like
I know.
Okay. So now they are, it's a very interesting thing now, because so many clients, they purchase the cottage for using themselves, working from home, in all this lockdown. And now the reason, because now so many companies, they try to get back like before, they get back at work like before, and they force their workforce to not work from home anymore and to come back to the offices. So now those guys, because they are like say 200 kilometers away from Toronto, they cannot go back and forth. And now if they can have the second property, to keep that property and to buy a new one in Toronto, then it's okay. But if they don't have, and mostly of this is the case, if they don't have enough money to buy a property in Toronto close to their office, they suddenly they have to sell their property. So for this reason,
and they have no time to sell it, because they have to sell it.
And plus, some of them, they purchased these properties when they were 1%, let's say 1%, 2% mortgage rates, like a secondary home, and then probably they put they took a variable rate, and they didn't pay attention when the rates went up. They didn't close on fixed rate. Now they are playing, I don't know, double the like 1 year ago, and their budget it's very it's tightened, and they cannot afford anymore to keep the house and the cottage. They have to sell. So for this reason, there are a lot of reasons why now it's a little bit a big inventory than before, because of all these situations.
Wow. So interesting. Thank you so much, Marius. A lot of great information as always, and
Thank you so much for coming, and
of course, always.
Hopefully, I gave a lot of inside information to the potential buyers. They want investors. They want to make more money in Airbnb, especially in a cottage country. And
and you're always open to discussion if they have any
they
questions.
can call me anytime to help them sorting out what's the best for them in which county, depending on which city they live.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
All the best. I wish you all the best, and see you very soon, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.